Good morning, family. Our verse for today comes from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 2, and it says, "When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom." And I just wonder how many of us right now are stuck in some sort of sin that we can't get out of, but we're too proud to come to God. I wonder how many of us have been misled our whole lives into believing that we have to be embarrassed to come to God. And so then we allow our pride to get in the way, and we just don't come to God with it. It says, the humble produces wisdom. My humility produces wisdom. But my pride is disgraceful. My pride will set me up for self-destruction. So I was sitting here and I'm really just thinking, like, how many of us are really sitting in that? Unbelievers, believers, how many of us have already came to God with something? Humbly. But then it popped up again in our lives, and then we got prideful because we were like, I don't want you to know, God. I don't want you to know that I went against you. I don't want you to know I turned my back on you. But the reality is we're fooling ourselves because he already does know. And he wants you to come to him. He wants you to show up to him in a place of humility and just ask him to forgive you and just talk to him like a parent. I need to be careful letting my pride get in the way. And that doesn't only go for God. How many of us are too prideful in our relationship to admit that we're wrong, or to just simply be quiet when it seems like a storm is building up? How many of us are too prideful to not want to be right? I know I'm right. I know I'm right. To the point where we live in a generation, we got phones. I know myself, I'll hop on Google real fast just to prove that you're wrong. How many of us are too prideful to sit in a place of humility and simply let what is be what is sometimes? To let God handle it the way that he's supposed to. How many of us are too prideful in our work situation? Right? How many of us are too proud to ask for help when we need help? How many of us are too prideful and proud and feel like we're going to be labeled a certain type of way if we holler at the person that is supposed to be looking after us at work? I need to come to a place of humility in my life all the way around where it doesn't matter what you think. I'm going to be humble. I'm going to ask for help if I need it. Oftentimes, when we refuse to ask for help, we're blocking a blessing that somebody else had for us. We're blocking the blessing that God had for us through somebody else because we didn't want to get out of our own way. How many of us are struggling because we just couldn't ask somebody for help, but we'll be the first ones to offer somebody else help? How many of us are dying inside, but are too proud to ask God to give us life? When pride comes, then disgrace, then destruction, then misery. But with the humble is wisdom. Because to show humility, to ask for help when needed, to not try to play God, to ask God for help, that's a wise decision. That's wise. I pray that we would be a people that would ask for help. Stop suffering in silence. I don't care who taught you what your whole life. Men, stop suffering in silence because you feel like it's not manly to speak on things. Women, stop suffering in silence because you've been doing it by yourself this whole time. Maybe you're not anymore. And if you still feel like you are, you have God. Stop. Stop. Put your pride aside. Come to God. Beg, plead, cry. I don't always do it, but when I do, y'all, I'm telling you, there's a sense of relief inside of my soul where I know I made the right decision. I knew I could count on you because you never failed me yet. Stop being proud. Be humble. Ask for help. God bless and I love you guys.